Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is going on, y'all? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and we're always keeping it real, so please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on tonight's convo, y'all, we're going to be talking about the long-going feud between the WNBA and Enes Kanter Freedom. Yes, Enes Kanter Freedom, known for many as Enes Kanter, and then he changed his name to Freedom, former NBA player, did about 11 seasons in the NBA. I know one of those, he played for a variety of teams. One of those seasons he played with my Knicks, but Enes has been very vocal with the whole ongoing debate between who's allowed to play in women's sports. Okay, so we get this, we continue to hear the argument, well, should transgender athletes compete in biological gender sports? So that means should transgender females be allowed to compete in the WNBA? Okay, should transgender males be allowed to play in the NBA? And this all circulates back to when the collegiate swimmer, and I'm sorry, but I'm blanking on the name. I think last name was Thomas, but this individual started their college career as a collegiate swimmer as a male. They were born a male, and then during their college career they decided to transition, and the individual transitioned into a female, and the story goes, so transition to a female is against biological female athletes and starts to dominate the competition during that college career. Now, prior to that, this individual was not all that in a bag of chips. They were not a high-ranking swimmer, but once they transitioned, they started to dominate the league. And it was it was unfair to a lot of the females, who biological, females, who were like, wait a minute, we're competing against, in their eyes, we're competing against a man, and it's just unfair. It's unfair. And so that's when you started to have the rise of Riley Gaines, who was a swimmer, I think, from the University of Kentucky. She's now a political commentator, women's rights activist, and do some other stuff. So I go to this because the WNBA, let me get back to my notes here. The WNBA was rediscussing their eligibility for their 2027 NBA draft, okay? And Enes Kanter, along with former NBA player Royce White, who recently was running for, I believe, U.S. Senate out in Minnesota on the Republican side. He lost very poorly. In my opinion, Royce White is a clown. Okay, he was continuing to make a joke out of this argument and somewhat just like what Ennis is doing. Because here's the thing, y'all. There's a way to share that you are not for this, and then there's also a way to not be insulting and disrespectful. Because at the end of the day, people within the LGBTQ community are humans as well too, and we should respect everyone's path, opinions, how they want to live their life. But again, it's a way to speak your mind. Fast forward, so Royce White and Enes Kanter recently declared themselves women and attempted to establish eligibility for the 2027 NBA draft, challenging the league to clarify its eligibility rules. Sources told Reuters and ESPN that neither Freedom nor White is eligible for the WNBA, with the league sources characterizing their declarations as attempts to generate controversy rather than legitimate attempts to play. I totally agree with that. It's, in a short form, that's what you call clout chasing. Okay, clout chasing. And we're going to continue this we're going to continue the story later on in the show. In addition to that, y'all, imagine competing in the NFL, the highest level in professional football, only to want to play back, want to go back to college to play college football. So there's an individual who's causing controversy in the collegiate in college football, which, I mean, come on, there's always going to be more controversy. There's still ongoing controversy with the NILs, even though, in my opinion, these players deserve all the money they can get because they're the ones that's generating a lot of revenue for the universities. But at the end of the day, it causes controversy because they're like, okay, what's the overall principle that we're teaching our students and this and that and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, there was a player, Daquan Wright. His eligibility is now causing a huge problem in sports, in college sports, where you have coaches that are openly sharing like, hey, look, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this whole going back to coming from the NFL, going back to college football, because folks work hard. Collegiate players, that is, they work hard to get that position on a team. So if he's coming back and eligible to play on our team, he's now removing somebody from that opportunity who had worked hard. They're coming from high school to college. Okay, you don't do freaking, because there's different levels. You got Pop Warner, junior high, high school, college, NFL. It's not college, NFL, and then back to college. That's not how it goes. Now, if he was going back to college to get education, that's for one thing. But going back to play, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why, honestly, I never get these stories when I hear about, hey, 60-year-old is competing on a college football team, or 47-year-old. There's a new story. 47-year-old pastor made it on the roster of a local college in his home area, and he's playing defensive end. I'm like, how does that work? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Lastly, to y'all, one of country music's biggest stars, Casey Musgraves, she upsets MAGA. Ooh. Well, because she shares her support when it comes to the immigration issue that we have going on. And so during one of her shows, she acknowledged that donations that's going out, or I guess there's a contribution from ticket sales is going out to this charity. And I'll have to get the name. I'll get the name of that organization, but it's an organization that raises money for children of parents who've been deported. Okay. MAGA don't like that. MAGA don't like that. They're like, what is going on here? You're so wrong, X, Y, and Z. And it's very bold on her behalf, on her part, because see, in the country music industry, country music is highlighted, I would say, by the right. it's the right has inherited country music as their genre because it's about they sing about sing about America, they sing about drinking beer, and they sing about the American dream. And so with majority there's a large number of stars in country music industry that supports MAGA, that are Republicans, that are very conservative, right? Broke my heart when I heard that. At least I can speak for. I know the lead singer of Rascal Flatts, is a Trump supporter. You got Jason Aldean, Trump supporter. Carrie Underwood, Trump supporter. There's a number. Those are just the top ones I can think off the top of my head, but we will discuss more here on the show, y'all. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into yet another great episode. This is episode 660. That's right, 660. And we drop new episodes weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's iHeart, Spotify, Apple, just name a few. We're available on all podcast platforms. You can also watch past episodes of the show on Goatverse TV. That's right, on Goatverse TV. So do me a favor, download the app. It's on your App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. What else? Oh, follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, X, as well as Blue Sky, all under the same handle, AG Show Live. Okay. And you can also check us out on our Substack and our website, www.theagshow.com. Again, that's www.theagshow.com if you want to hit me up. And I don't know, would love to hear me discuss a certain topic, or you want to hear my take on something, please hit me up by visit our website. You can email me through there. And y'all, lastly, before we head to a commercial break, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so yet. If you're currently watching this video and you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. It keeps you up to date on new episodes and new content that we have going on. And it just helps with our algorithm as well. Also give us a thumbs up. But we have a goal to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And hopefully we surpass that. But we just want to continue to share great conversation, fun, informative as well. We want to keep you all informed. We have to keep you all informed. Because there's so much media out there that's just, again, clout chasing, like Enes Kanter and Royce White, misinformation. This program is opinionated based, but we bring on experts where they can teach us, because I'm a student too. I'm forever a student. I'm always learning. So yeah, do me a favor and subscribe to our channel. All right, family. We're going to head to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll get it going with our stories. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
I'm Aaron Phillips. Join me Saturdays at 12:30 as I host The Voice of 757. I'll share news, events, happenings, and the people that shape the 757. That's The Voice of 757, Saturday afternoon at 12:30 right here on Sky 4.
All right, family, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. So as I mentioned earlier, this story that is circulating across the news cycle as well as on social media is the clip of former NBA player Enes Kanter. All right, Enes Kanter, who was seen at a WNBA game, I believe, between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever. Yeah. And let me kind of walk you through this. So the clip that I'm about to share with you, shows Enes Kanter getting ejected from a WNBA game after a heated courtside confrontation with Chicago Sky star Natasha Cloud. The incident had quickly become part of a larger national argument over the transgender participation in women's sports. So let me go ahead and play this clip here.
That is Enes Kanter in the building today. 6-point basketball game. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket.
So here's my thing here. Here's my thing. I would say the argument is was Enes in the wrong, or was Enes correct? Was he doing his peaceful protest? Now, before I show you more, because I have some more clips that I'm gonna be playing for you, the Enes Kanter attended this game as a spectator. All right, as a spectator. He's not a part of the Chicago organization. He's not a part of the Indiana Fevers organization. He came as a spectator. So for those who are watching, all right, I want to, and for those who are listening, I want to kind of walk you through it. So Enes Kanter, hands up, but he continued to walk forward onto the court to Natasha Cloud. Now, in the world of sports, people are going to be, getting mouthy, all that other stuff. But for the most part, players get, they held back from responding to, from banter in the crowd. But fans are not allowed to step foot on the court. That is against the rules. If I step foot on the court, I'm getting escorted out the arena. So being that Enes, along with Royce Wright, but Royce Wright was not at this game, it was just Enes, his protest, they've made it into a spectacle to, and I think be quite insulting. Now, could he have an argument? Possibly, but he was one of the first that had the video saying, "I'm now declaring for the 2027 WNBA draft," and as a response to the rule from the WNBA. So Enes was wearing a shirt that said "Women, noun, adult human female." Woman, noun, adult human female. Because he was saying it. Well, if that's the protocol, right? If that's the WNBA rule, then I address it as a woman. And he was, that's what he was doing. So let's see here. Security then goes to escort Enes out. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement restricts the league to women, but reporting surrounding the controversy has noted that the league does not, all right, it does not have, this is according to CBS News, does not currently have a detailed publicly available transgender player eligibility policy. Okay. So Freedom was also at a rally supporting Indiana Fever's guard Sophie Cunningham, who had publicly opposed transgender women competing in women's sports. Personally, I agree with Sophie Cunningham. I don't see as that being a right and left issue, even though, like, once Sophie Cunningham said that, well, the the right wing, yes, finally, we must protect her at all times. We must protect her at all times. And then some folks on the left criticizes Sophie Cunningham again, in my personal opinion, and I am someone who I support same-sex marriage because I have friends that are part of the LGBTQ community, and I will be damned if someone tell me, well, if my friends don't have the right to love who they want to love or marry who they want to marry. No, I'm not for that. And I'm also believing, like, hey, look, you have the right to live your life the way you want to live your life. And I go back to say when I shared earlier is that we are all humans here and we should all protect every human being on this earth. Okay. But my friends in the LGBTQ community knows that when it comes to the issue of transgender athletes competing in biological gender sports, that being said, transgender women competing in women's sports, I don't agree with that. Likewise, if it's a transgender male competing in a predominantly male sport, I'm not a predominantly male, but in a male sport, I'm NBA, for example, I'm not going to agree with that. I don't. For one, I think this is a talking point or argument that the right continues to campaign on, because if you think about it, y'all, there is no transgender athlete in the WNBA or the NBA or football, professional football. There's none. Professional baseball, there is none. Okay, but the right has used this as a campaign strategy. Because if you go back during the 2024 presidential race, right, the commercial that everybody remembers, Kamala Harris is for they, them, Donald Trump is for you. The rest is history. Enes Kanter ended up saying, I just got kicked out of a WNBA game for supporting women. So here's a clip of Enes getting escorted. There's actually a couple clips of him getting escorted out. So that was one clip. All right. Here's another one.
And that is the reason that they're kicking me out. This is unacceptable.
Respect just a little bit more.
Now, he was saying that the reason why they're kicking me out is because I'm respecting women. I respect women. They're kicking me out for this. Is unacceptable. First and foremost, y'all, there has not been an official finding that Freedom was ejected simply because of the message on his shirt. Again, what I explained to you all was the fact that he was there to watch a game. Well, he was there to protest, and to cause controversy. But he was in attendance. He was a spectator. What he did was that he walked on to, even though he had his hands up, he was still walking towards a female, right? To cause controversy. But he already broke the rule as a person who played in the NBA for 11 seasons, right? He should know the protocol. Fans can't come on the court. Come on, y'all. Come on. Fans are not supposed to come on the court. Now, Natasha Cloud went on. She didn't speak with reporters after the game, but she subsequently posted a message expressing strong support for transgender people, saying they belong in her community and that she would protect them. Now, I'm assuming that Natasha Cloud is a member of the LGBTQ community. She had said that they belong in her community and she will protect them. So she's protecting them as a fellow member of the LGBTQ community. All right. Now Chicago coach Tyler Marsh as well strongly backed Cloud. He said she was concerned that she had become a distraction, but he told her the organization views her as someone who protects our team and protects people that need to be protected. Bet. Okay, now Indiana's coach Stephanie White took a different approach, essentially urging the media not to amplify the controversy, describing it as a social media thing. It is. Here's the thing. Enes Kanter wasn't a huge star in the NBA. He then, once he was like a free agent, he began to be very vocal when it comes to international government issues, right? Like in Turkey and Israel, and that was his China. He became, he then turned to a human rights activist, winning awards, but primarily overseas. He's been acknowledged by really both sides of the aisle here in the United States, which he's been a citizen, I believe, a U.S. citizen for about 7 years. He became a citizen in 2021, I want to say. But this is, in my opinion, this is clout chasing, because for one, he was one person protesting. Now, no, most of the time, y'all, don't y'all normally have groups when it comes to protesting? So you're not just one person. He was one person holding the shirt and then leaving out like, yeah, that's right. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a form of clout chasing. There's a way to explain your or to share your protest and then being a clout chaser. So prior to him coming in. So on his way to the arena, right? He kind of got heckled by a few fans, those who just was not having it. And excuse the language as I play this, but it was getting a little intense.
Bitch ass nigga. Oh, bitch ass out of Chicago.
I'm not touching him. I'm just saying, fuck you.
Sorry ass. You was sorry in the league. You was sorry in the league. Sorry ass. You was sorry in the league. You was sorry in the league. You wouldn't even do good in this league. You sorry ass. Sorry. No, you ain't good. You ain't good here. You ain't good here. You got the police with you. Man, you a bitch ass nigga.
So, I mean, you heard the fan, frustration to see why he's even here, because all it is like a big distraction in his mind. And he's just like, man, you punk, you this, you that. And again, the larger debate is there's really two separate questions emerging in this incident. Now, obviously, the first is the arena conduct. Now, regardless, as I mentioned earlier, once courtside spectator and a player become involved in a heated confrontation, particularly when the spectator moves towards the playing surface, security has an obvious reason to intervene and escort the individual out. Now, the second thing is what exactly should determine eligibility for women's professional sports. All right. So now Freedom is deliberately trying to force the question onto the NBA. Now, supporters of his position argued the women's league should be based on biological sex and believe his stunt exposes ambiguity in the league's rules. Now, critics also argue that Freedom and Royce White at the time are acting in bad faith, using transgender people as a vehicle for political stunt rather than raising a genuine eligibility case. The WNBA itself criticized what is considered bad faith attempts and manufactured controversy around the issue. I totally agree with that as well. I think in general, the right-wing media is always going to be doing it in bad faith because, I mean, that they've been like that for the beginning. I think the left is, I think a number of elected officials on the left is scared to truly share their position on it. Why? Because you have to look at the amount of voters that the Democratic Party receives strictly from the LGBTQ. That's a lot of voters. Okay, a lot of voters. So they're always very hesitant and on responding to the position, but it's something that they will never ever have a clear answer. And to me, that's where I guess I get frustrated, because I'm like, just share your stance. It's gonna continue to hurt y'all on the campaign trail, so you might as well just share your position. One last clip I want to share with you. This is another former NBA star, Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson played, he had a more successful career than Enes Kanter. I believe Steven Jackson has a ring as well too, won 1 or 2 championships. He played close to 15 years. Then he extended his career playing for the Big Three. He also is a popular podcaster along with Matt Barnes. They host a program called All the Smoke. This is where he had to say, this was his take on this recent incident. Let me go and play you this clip here.
Man, y'all got to stop the clown shit. I got daughters. I played basketball on the highest level. One on the highest level. Matter of fact, one on every level. There's no woman that could ever play in the NBA, bro. Ever. And we've had some great women basketball players, but none of them were good enough to play in the NBA because it's men. A man should not belong in no women's sports. Because the ones that saying they should, y'all going to be out of jobs. Then what you going to say? We're going to have 2 NBAs? No, bro. No. Y'all not making no sense. Y'all trying to make it about Enes Kanter. He trying to protect women's basketball. I don't understand what the problem is with him. Black people have been identifying as free and equal for how long? Half of y'all still ain't accepted that. So y'all want people to accept a grown man with balls that's going to play in women's sports and just accept that he a woman? No, man, I got daughters, and other fathers that got daughters agree with me. You don't want no man in women's sports. This is clown shit. Man, y'all got to stop the.
I mean, not gonna lie, Steven Jackson, he has a point. He has a point, y'all. As we digress from this story, I'm gonna leave you all with this. What's your stance? What's your stance on this issue? What's your stance on this? Is Enes Kanter in the right? Is his protest in the right, or is he in the wrong? Is he just clout chasing? Give me your takes. Leave it in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on this. This will be an ongoing. It's going to continue to be an ongoing story, and we'll see how the WNBA responds. We'll hear more from Enes Kanter, because he will continue to have a platform. We're gonna hear from a lot of folks because I'm curious to hear your takes on this, y'all. But as we digress, I want to stay in the sports realm, and another debate, another controversial story here in the world of sports is this one primarily in college sports. So imagine you make it to the highest level in NFL only to say, well, I want to play and go back and play college football. I'm not crazy about that. So gentleman's name is Daquan Wright. Now, Daquan Wright, tight end, blazed a trail from Cleveland Browns training camp now back to LSU's roster. Is like a ship slamming into an iceberg on a sunny day, is what this article shares. So what had occurred was, let me kind of read more of this in contents. You have a number of coaches that is sharing their disagreement with this, because you're like, wait a minute. You have Daquan Wright, who officially was waived from his first year player. Waived the first year player. Okay. If when he clears waivers, he's presumptively transfers to LSU and rejoin former Ole Miss coach. That's right, because he played for Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. While situations causing a lot of brains to explode, the reality is that the NCAA has adopted a year that gives players 5 seasons in 5 years. If that rule had existed before Wright entered the draft, he would have had a chance to stay in college for another year. And so the courts have decided that Wright and others should benefit from the retroactive application of the NCAA's willingness to grant 5 years of eligibility. I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know about that. Because again, you have these older cats coming back into college sports after doing, a stint in the pros. It's like once they succeed their collegiate career, then they just stay there, continue to do what they can to stay in the stay on the NFL level, because you have a lot of folks that are now entering into college sports. And I know this because I had a lot of close friends that were collegiate athletes, and some of them were either transfers from different schools or had to walk on. Some of them were had a scholarship, but it was a struggle. It's not easy playing or making it to the roster of a college football team. So a couple of coaches who have shared their frustrations or their opinion on this whole story. One out of Oregon, I believe, Lanny is his name. Let me go ahead and find that clip here where he shares his take on. Dan Lanning is his name. Let me share that for you all.
I think there's a lot of negatives that are involved around this. One, once you go to the NFL, to me, you're in the NFL. You don't get the opportunity to come back. Two, most of us have built our rosters, and you have a limited roster limit now. So if you invited somebody back to your team, that means you're kicking somebody else off your team, right, to match your roster limits. I don't think that's fair to the players that worked all summer, all spring, and put themselves in position to be ready to work for a team. To have somebody come back. But ultimately, it used to be once you had an agent, or once you went and did the combine, or once you went to all those things qualified as you are no longer an amateur, you're a professional now once you declare for the draft. So to let any of those players come back, fair or unfair to them, it's unfair to the sport. I think there's a lot of.
And coach is right. He has a great point. Now, I will say, though, obviously stuff has changed, because he was talking about once you have an agent, you're no longer an amateur. Once you have this, you're no longer an amateur. Once you declare for this, you're no longer an amateur. The only thing I would, correct him or say, well, you have NILs now, where a lot of these players, they are, even though it's on the amateur level, college sports is seen as like, almost professional. You could say semi-pro, so it's not too far from being amateur, but the money that's involved now, you have NIL players making 8 to 10 million a year, or 8 to 10 million, not a year, but $8 to $10 million in NIL money, which they roughly deserve. They deserve all that funding because they help bring in a lot of revenue to these universities, as well as they help build the salaries of college coaches. See, that's one thing. Not Dan Lanning did not, this is not towards him, but in general, there's been former coaches who spoke about their frustration of NILs. And I'm like, first and foremost, you're over here frustrated that players are getting paid in the millions when you as a head coach will get paid 10 million a year, maybe even more. I'm sorry. These are the players that's risking their life. They're have one of the toughest schedules because they have to alternate school books, travel, playing on the highest level, making this university, but it's a lot, and they deserve all that money. So I feel it's a bit like hypocritical when somebody, hint Nick Saban, who is against NIL and players getting paid what they deserve, in my opinion, because look how much money Nick Saban has made in his college head coaching career. Okay. So please spare me with that whole, I don't like this because it's going to defeat the purpose. We're now teaching, we're going to be coaching millionaires, and you don't like the fact that, well, some of these players, they bounce from team to team because they're going for either NIL money or they're going to play for where they're going. They can get the most playing time. It's literally just like the NFL. But I do agree with Coach at Oregon. The fact of the matter is, when you complete your task in collegiate level and you're in NFL, there is no going back. I'm sorry. You can go back for get education, but going to play sports, I'm not crazy about that, fam. Me personally. Lastly, y'all, I want to share you this story of Casey Musgraves, 8-time Grammy winner Casey Musgrave, who recently at a show in, at all places, I think she was at Chicago. She had some time and shared to her to the crowd that, hey, I'm working with this organization called Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights. It's a Chicago-based nonprofit. During this concert, and it happened to be her 38th birthday, I quote, she says, "It's a wonderful organization, and they help give aid, legal aid, and money to children whose parents have been deported unfairly." Again, look at keywords here. Help give aid, legal aid, and money to children whose parents have been deported unfairly. Now, look, we can all agree that when it comes to criminals, those that are And when I mean I'm talking hard, I'm talking killer criminals. All right, not no small white collar crime. I'm talking about serious criminals. Well, I guess white collar crimes as well too, but they are the ones that should be deported, because if they're coming to this country causing harm and evil, then no, we don't allow that. They need to be deported, especially if they're also here illegally. Now, there have been a lot of individuals who have been deported unfairly, people that have been paying U.S. tax dollars for years and years and years, minding their business, working hard, working jobs that most Americans don't do, and they're getting slung on the ground. They're getting pushed. They're getting pepper sprayed. They're getting tased with the little hand gloves. They're getting deported. And look, we can all agree on stronger borders. We don't want non-stronger borders. We want strong borders, strong border security. We can all agree with that. But I'm saying that because she specifically said deported unfairly. These kids, they need assistance. They need help. So the singer went on to add, it's not a political thing. It's just these kids need help. So she said, if you have any money, even little as 50 cents, donate would mean a lot to me. And if you don't, then, that's that's fine too. Let me play you the clip so you can hear it from Casey Musgraves herself, and then I'll read you some more in regards to this article here.
There is a nonprofit here, and it's called the Young Center. It's at theyoungcenter.org, which is the website. And it's a wonderful organization, and they help give aid, legal aid, and money to children whose parents have been deported unfairly. To me, it's not even a political thing. It's just these kids need help, and they're like no guidance and no way to get through this thing without their home base and their parents. And so anyway, 50 cents, whatever the hell, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but that would mean a lot to me.
So that's what she said, y'all. That's what she said. Now, of course, you know who wasn't happy? MAGA wasn't happy. MAGA wasn't happy. Before I share what they said in the comment section, federal sources told Fox News this month that ICE agents made around 51,000 immigrant arrests in July, the highest monthly arrest total in the agency's history. The figure tops the previous record of roughly 43,000 in June. Now, obviously, her comments spread across MAGA Online, like Fox News host Tommy Lahren, an individual who I cannot stand. She always got something to say. She said, "What is unfair?" What she said, what is an unfair deportation? That's what she said. What is an unfair deportation? Because hey, if you're here illegally, you need to be deported. There's no such thing as unfair deportation. Hey, you have your own thoughts. I've shared your mine, but that's what Tommy Lahren shared. Newsmax host Rob Smith said, nowhere is safe from libtards, not even country music. Okay. Popular MAGA influencer Vince Langman, who has over 560,000 followers, said, how about donating money to help kids whose parents have been killed by illegal immigrants? What happened to the country music industry? Okay, I tell you. Said another MAGA account sharing a Fox News post that Musgrave's request claimed the singer is worth $15 million and said if she cares that much, she can fund it herself and let them live in one of her multi-million-dollar mansions. Others called Musgraves as a hypocrite, while others were enraged at a disco ball prop used in her show that appeared to illuminate male genitalia. I ain't see all that. But yeah, long story short, y'all, MAGA's not happy. MAGA's not happy. And I just want to commend Casey Musgraves, because she's a part of the industry that is, I would say, widely supported by conservatives and Republicans. Again, country music is kind of like that inherited genre where all Republican and conservative support. So it's a conservative industry. The fact that she said, no, hey, I'm not scared. I'm gonna speak my mind, X, Y, and Z, and she did. And personally, I think it's for a great cause. Kids are harmless. At the end of the day, kids are harmless. So for those that are speaking against Casey's stance on that, then y'all just say bump the kids. That's pretty much what you're saying. You don't care about the lives of innocent children. So in that case, all y'all can go scratch, because that's a shame. That is a shame. So you're all for then kids being in handcuffs, little kids being in handcuffs. That's what you're saying? Because that's what I'm getting. It's ridiculous, y'all. Family, thank you for sticking with us here on the Arrington Gavin Show. That is my time. Until next time, look, stay safe, stay informed, and hey, look, be aware of what's going on. Midterm cycle. Knowledge is power. I'll talk to you soon for another great combo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.